Hi, I'm Kelly. Welcome to my kitchen. Today we're going to be making chilaquiles. That's something that some of you have requested. I hope you enjoy them. They're delicious. I like them spicy. You can have them with green salsa, with red salsa in some places in Mexico. You can have it with other sauces like mole. But today what I'm going to make is my favorite. Green salsa with Chilaquiles Verdes, which is chilaquiles with green salsa. And what are chilaquiles? Chilaquiles is fried corn tortilla with some sauce on top, and then there's some toppings and some side dishes that I'm going to talk about as we cook together. Also, one thing I like is just researching the history, so you're going to hear, where the words come from, what relatives have told me about the different dishes, or even friends. So it's something that not only is delicious, it's something you're going to be learning from what I have researched. So anyway, welcome to my kitchen, and I hope you enjoy. Making chilaquiles, the first thing you need to do is the sauce. And the sauce is usually served warm, so it's something that you have to get a start on. The ingredients, you're going to need 4 chiles serranos. These chiles, they're very small, kind of a mini jalapeno is what I call it. They are called serranos because the region where they're from, they're close to some mountains, and mountains in Mexico, they call it the sierra. That's where the name comes from. So you're gonna need 4 of them. You're gonna need around 1 pound of tomatillos. They come on this, covered on this kind of skin that you have to peel off and then wash. The tomatillos are a fruit, just like the tomatoes. People believe they're related to the tomatoes, but they're not. They are actually indeed related to Cape gooseberries. In Mexico, they eat them either broiled, fried, steamed. And today we're going to make the salsa with just boiling them. You're also going to need 1/4 of an onion. You don't need to chop that because we're going to use the blender to puree the mixture. So you're going to need 1 teaspoon of salt. And you need 1/4 cup of chopped cilantro. This is roughly 1/4 cup. And when you chop cilantro, you have to get rid of these thick stems, and this part is what you chop, and you just make sure that everything is finely chopped, and then you end up with 1/4 cup. So to make the green salsa, you have to boil some water, and this one I have already almost boiling, and you put the tomatillos whole in there. When you have removed that skin, just make sure you wash them and just put them in here, all right, to boil. And then the chiles, which are 4 of them, you just drop it in there and let them boil. You're gonna boil that for like around 10 minutes. Okay, now you can see how they're getting dark. We're almost there. 10 minutes approximately. If they're big like this one, you may want to boil them a little bit longer, but basically they have to lose that bright color and they turn into a very, very dull color. So we're almost there. Okay, so the tomatillos are almost done. They have lost that bright color. And what I'm gonna do, gonna turn this off, and I'm gonna transfer the tomatillos to a blender. If you noticed, when we started preparing this, I didn't put any salt to the water. That's because we're gonna put it now when we puree all the tomatillos and the chiles, the onion. Okay, so now you grab the chiles. You also put them in. Alrighty. Just put them in a in the blender, pour in the onions, pour in the cilantro, and the salt. You have everything in the blender, and you should use some of the water that you used to boil the tomatillos and the chiles, and put it in the blender just to help with the puree. I'm using a glass vase for the blender, and the reason I do that is because things are hot. If I use a plastic one, it's gonna be, it gets cracked. So here we go. So I had some friends ask me, you know, how honestly this is easy to make, but sometimes you don't get to find the tomatillos because they're not in season or they're not easy to find where you live. So there are a couple of options. If you don't have all the ingredients, you can, one, go the easy way, buy pre-made green salsa. And if you like spicy, you just spice it up with some serrano peppers. Or I have found also canned tomatillos that they're already boiled. You just have to, again, just go through the process of putting them in a blender. You may want to heat a little, you know, boil the chiles, and then just go through the rest of the process as far as putting it in the blender, and along with the cilantro, the salt, and the onion. So there are options if you cannot find the tomatillos. So the next step is, okay, this is hot, this is warm to the touch, and we're gonna cook the salsa. So what we do is sprinkle a little bit of olive oil in a pan. We turn it on, we just heat that up, and then we're gonna just cook the salsa in that hot oil. Okay, so our oil is hot, so I'm gonna just pour the green salsa here and just let it cook in the oil. There we go. Let's see if the sauce is spicy, salty. Perfect. There's no need to add more salt. It has a really good salty taste, and it also has a nice kick to it. Okay, while I have the sauce boiling, cooking, I'm gonna make the triangles for the chilaquiles. And basically you just cut corn tortilla, white corn, into triangles. Okay, it's fairly easy. Our salsa is pretty much cooked. It had lost some water, some of it has evaporated, so I'll turn this off, put it aside as it's ready. Okay, so I have a deep fryer that I have preheated. It's really warm, and I have my tortillas cut in triangles. I also have a bowl with a colander strainer, so that I can drain the fat after I fry the tortillas. So I take a bunch like this big, and I just make sure they're separated and just fry them until they're golden brown. So the oil has to be sizzling hot. You want that very hot, and they cook quickly, so you have to keep an eye on them. Okay, so the first batch is turning golden brown. They're about to be ready, and it's very fast. You don't want them to be burned. So here we go. This is my first batch. And you can tell, you know, they have got some color, crunchy. Okay. So now we drop in another batch. Keep an eye on this because the second and the third batch usually go faster than the first one. This is almost done. So what I do is I bring the first batch of the chips and I put them in a glass bowl. That's gonna be my serving bowl. Okay, so this is coming along. So what do you serve chilaquiles with? Well, you can have a side of refried beans. People top them with sour cream. A grated cheese is a very typical cheese in Mexico, Cotija. You can get it in the United States. It's like I call it like the Mexican Parmesan because it's salty. It's kind of powdery also, but the flavor is different. And you can put the sour cream, the cheese, and then you can put shredded chicken on top. Some people also for breakfast, they have the chilaquiles with the sauce, with sour cream, cheese, the shredded chicken, the refried beans, and they also have fried eggs, like sunny side up or over easy. And that's a Mexican breakfast / brunch kind of thing. Okay, these are my last batch. So we're done frying the tortillas. And next we go and assemble the chilaquiles. To assemble the chilaquiles, we have the fried chips, the green salsa, we have cilantro, the sour cream, which is a Mexican sour cream. You also have the grated cheese that I told you about. It's a grated Cotija, and you can find it here in the United States. So to serve the chilaquiles, you have to pour the green salsa over the chips. Just pour everything in. Then you take a spoon and you make sure that you coat it. You stir everything and make sure the chips are covered with the sauce. And then you serve it on a plate. And you can put toppings. We're gonna put the cilantro. We also are gonna put a little bit of the sour cream on top of the chilaquiles, and then the grated cheese. You can also, on sides, you can put refried beans, you can put avocado, you can put some shredded chicken on top. You can have different servings. So these are the chilaquiles. Enjoy them. Hope you like them.